Yes. Go.
One more, right? Ready?
Okay, the misconception most of the people have is that we are unable to climb up steps or going up a bus or into the MRT. Though we cannot see, but our other senses are maybe sharper, especially our hearing. Soundball is, I think, a game that is simple to play, and yet it helps in the building up of my physical body, my health, and I enjoy it because there's no other game that is actually now so accessible as this game.
Soundball is blind tennis. So as you can see, I'm holding right now here a soundball. It's basically a ball, styrofoam made ball, and inside there is a ping pong ball with metal bits in it. So every time it hits the floor, it rattles. It sounds a bit like that, right? So how is this game being played? There are generally two different groups of players. The first group is the total blind players, and the second group is the partially sighted. So within the total blind players, we have two types. The first type is are folks who are born blind. So basically came into this world, it's all darkness. They've not seen a tennis player swing a racket, so they can't emulate. Which means when we coach a player, we can't do a, hey, watch and learn. So for these players, we typically have to hold their hands so they get used to the movements, and we teach them how to swing the racket. But the good thing about these players is their other senses are very heightened. So they could listen very well, they could smell very well. In fact, sometimes they could smell when I'm around. So, rules of the games are pretty similar to tennis, except that the total blind players get 3 bounces, the partially sighted gets 2 bounces. So for a total blind player, what we do is we actually need to put lines on the floor to demarcate the boundaries of the court. So from a blind person's perspective, they can feel the lines and they can make reference to the size of the court. So they build a mental map, and that's how we then educate them.
I love soundball because I love the sound of the ball first. In fact, I was really very puzzled. How do we play it? At first, when I come in, they introduced me, and then I realized that many other visually impaired who is coming here, and they've been enjoying the game. So many people who was came as a volunteer to coach us. First thing before that is a warm up. It was good. After warm up, how to listen to how to catch the ball by listening to it, and I can play with the normal racket and with the ball with the sound. So that really interests me a lot, and I think it's a very good game for energizing, for also exercising, at the same time more on focusing, listening, concentrating. So it gives me a wider scope of relaxation and to think well. And after fulfilling every exercise, I feel that I become stronger.
Okay, good. For a total blind player, it's definitely a lot tougher. So even teaching them to move or teaching them to swing a racket it could take 5 to 10 times longer than a regular human being, because we got to hold their hands, we got to teach them how to move, how to balance. And interestingly, a visual impaired player, to most folks they look absolutely normal, but they just can't really see very well, and that's when we need to understand, how does it work in their world.
I was born partially blind at 7 years old when I went for a failed surgery, and until today I'm still totally blind. Sorry, my hands are a bit clumsy. Okay. Inside all these seats are magnetic, and then the board itself has all the slots for it to hold the seats so that it won't drop up.
I had a normal childhood. At the age of 28, I contracted glaucoma. I came back from school one day just doing my students' work. At 7:30 p.m., everything went dark. I was very scared and very fearful. What happened, suddenly? But I just questioned my mom. I say, Mom, is there a blackout? Is the lights all off? But then she said, no, the lights all are on. And then my dad rushed me to the ophthalmologist, and they confirmed that I have acute glaucoma, and it affected my nerves within a few seconds and damaged all the nerves. So after 3 operations, they confirmed that I will not be able to see anymore. I was very devastated because I have to unlearn all that I've learned. As I was going through the blindness, my dad passed away, and I was given a responsibility by my dad to take care of my mom and my sister. I was even given responsibility to take ownership to find a job. It was very difficult for me because, as I said, society was not able to accept me, was not even able to give me an opportunity to move on in life. I also attempted to commit suicide many times. Someone or something was always stopping me. Then I realized that, after through my friends, they connected me to church, and I came to know the Lord Jesus Christ, and from there I began to have my strength by people encouraging me, around me, praying for me, and also along my side and listening to me. That's where I picked up myself. It was a 180 degrees turn after that. I learned how to also learn new skills like Braille and move around more independently. That was my life. No problem.
Lots of people think the visually impaired can't do anything. In fact, for the matter, most visually impaired themselves think they can't do anything. That because they're blind, they are resigned to their fate. They're resigned to not doing anything because they could be walking down the streets, walking into a drain, walking into a hole on the floor, or walking right into traffic. So these are all the fears that they have. And what Soundboard is trying to do is to change the perception that, look, you can still do sports, you can do and enjoy sports just like anyone else. Yes, it could be more difficult, but that's exactly what we are about. It's about conquering your fear, and that's how you gain your own confidence. So a lot of visually impaired folks in Singapore, they stay at home. They don't do anything. So by bringing them here, hitting a few balls, sweating a bit, but more importantly, be able to catch up with their fellow friends. I think that alone is really a massive advantage. On top of that, we've got players who want to push the limits, want to go competitive, and they want to be a better player. I think that's when Soundball gives them the opportunity.
Most of the time, it's quite okay. Life is quite normal, except once in a while, maybe I may just feel a bit lost in what I want to do. But when I pick up, the thoughts and know what I want for myself, like for example, joining the soundball, then I just come and play and I'll get happier. I would like to tell the sighted people that I'd like to let them know, especially the older folks, that they think that we are not supposed to come out to walk around to knock people, but we have to come out to be independent and to even earn a living.
I think I want to go and help others, the other visually impaired, to tell them, about my life, to learn new things and not to be in darkness and isolation in their life. To tell them that they are not limited, but they can come out and they can also excel.
And in my view, I don't see disability. I only see ability.
You can do it. Ready, drop. There you go.